Hi there and welcome to the Astranti strategic analysis for the operational case study for February 2018, where the case company is King Crystal, the manufacturer of crystalware. In this video, we will be conducting a strategic analysis of the company. Let's just go through exactly what that means. So this video will be based on what is called the rational planning model of strategic analysis, and we can summarize that in this diagram you see on the screen at the moment. So the ultimate aim of this planning model, the rational planning model, what we want to get out of it is a business strategy for the company going forwards. And the way we get that is two-pronged. Firstly, we need to look at where the company is now at the moment, its current position. And to do that, we'll be looking at these things in purple around here. So we look at the business environment by conducting a pestle analysis. We do a market analysis by looking at the brand and the 4 Ps of marketing. And we look at the value chain. And that gives us a good idea of where the company currently is. In addition to that, we want to look at where the company wants to be in the future. So essentially its mission and objectives, its goals for the long term. And the things we look at there are things such as the governance and the ethics, the principles regarding that. The stakeholder mapping, so having an idea of who the key stakeholders are and what kind of attention they need. And we're looking at the critical success factors, what it is that makes the company successful and what things they need to do in order to be successful. So having had those, having an idea of where the company is now and where they want to be, we can develop a business strategy that will help them get from now to the future. And that will largely be based on a SWOT analysis. You can see here the SWOT. And the SWOT analysis will inform our business strategy for the company. Now, the way we're going to do this is first by looking at the future, the mission and objectives of the company. Then we'll look at now, the pestle, the market analysis, the value chain, and that will help us devise the strategy. So who are the case company? Who are we dealing with? Well, we're dealing with the company called King Crystal. And they are a crystal manufacturer. And this is going to be the focus of the case study. This is going to be a shiny new area for most of you, as I doubt that many of you have a very in-depth understanding of this industry. So there's lots to learn about it from going through the pre-scene. It's a fairly small industry, but it's quite a competitive one in Gigland, and there's plenty for us to get our teeth sunk into. So just as a reminder then, it's the company King Crystal, and they are based in a fictional country called Gigland. Okay, so as I said at the beginning of the video, we will be using the strategic analysis, the rational model for the strategic analysis, and the first step of that, the first stage, is going to be understanding where the organization is heading, along with its approach to meeting stakeholders' needs. And we'll be looking at these key areas here. So governance and ethics, stakeholder mapping, and critical success factors. And this is what we'll be doing in the first half of the video. Okay, so the very first thing we want to do to get an idea of where the company is aiming to be is to get an idea of its mission. So what is the organization all about? Why does it exist? For whom does it exist? What is it trying to achieve? And this will help us get an idea of the mission. And ultimately, a mission helps to provide a common purpose and focus for the organization's strategy. It gives them direction and for directors, and it helps them with guiding objectives and strategic thinking. An organization without a strong mission may lack focus and purpose, and the strategic direction may be confused. So we're going to use the key elements set out by Campbell for good mission statements, and what we'll do is try to answer these questions as we go through. Before I do that, I just want to say that obviously we're doing the operational case study at the operational level. Strategy isn't necessarily what you'll be expected to do in the exam. Nevertheless, this is going to help us get a better understanding of the company. It's almost like extra preparation we're doing to help us get ready for the exam. So it is still important, and the SWOT analysis we do at the end will give us a vital understanding of the company going into the exam. So starting off then, let's begin with purpose and try to answer some of these questions. So why does the organization exist, and for whom does it exist? So answering this question can be quite difficult, given that we don't really know why the founder initially set it up in the first place. So we'll just say that obviously the founder set it up as a business opportunity for him. We had a glassblower who went into business and decided to develop that business into an internationally recognized manufacturer. And so the key people there are going to be the shareholders, those who have an investment in the company, and the key stakeholders as well. So staff and employees and customers, they have an interest in the purpose of the company as a manufacturer of high quality crystalware. So the next question, what does the company hope to achieve long term? Okay, so I think if we were to generalize here, we could say they're hoping to become perhaps the leading or one of the leading manufacturers of crystalware in the world. Now, at the moment, they're one of the leading manufacturers in the country in which they are founded, in Gigland. Perhaps they want to become internationally recognized. But one important thing to note here is, of course, that one of the important things is the quality and making sure that it is crystalware that they're making and that they're known for their quality. We don't necessarily want them, I don't think that they're planning to do glassware or lesser quality products. It's crystalware that they're interested in, these high quality crystal glasses and drinking vessels that they want to be known for, and that is the mark they want to leave on the world. Okay, so we move on to strategy and we ask, how are they going to compete? How are they going to do this? How are they going to achieve their purpose? And the strategy thus far has to be very much focused on high quality, and perhaps we could also say variety. They have a wide range of products. They have 108 different product lines that they offer, all of which are very high quality, and that seems to be their strategy for sticking out against the competition. Moving on then to values. So what does the company stand for? Well, we've already sort of highlighted this perhaps in strategy, that quality is going to be a key factor here. Perhaps to add to that as well, the company seem to be interested in their corporate social responsibility. So they have certain ethical practices. They're concerned about the environment. They have a tree planting scheme. They pay their staff above minimum wage, and so they seem to value, those kind of more ethical corporate social responsibility elements. Okay, and then we move on to policies, and these are the way essentially that the values are instantiated. So what actually is the company doing to make sure that they're staying true to their values? And I guess in that case, we're kind of saying that, well, they are an above minimum wage employer. They are concerned about the environment. They do tree planting schemes. They recycle water in the manufacturing process. So they have a number of things that they are doing that make sure that they are sticking to their values. Okay, so that gives us some ideas of the company's mission, their reason for existing, what they actually want to do, and how they sort of implement that in terms of their values and policies. Okay, so once we have a clearer idea of the mission, we can move on to think about objectives and the measurement of performance. And these are the ways in which the company can essentially measure their progress against their overall strategy. So objectives are essentially a focused target to move towards direct planning, to motivate staff and enable accurate performance measurement. And from the case study, we can infer a few specific targets. Okay, one is their commitment to high quality raw materials in the purchasing stage. This ensures the quality of their product all the way through, and it actually says in the pre-scene that in many cases their raw materials are purchased based on quality, with cost being a lesser factor. Another one we get from the pre-scene is that they want to increase revenues, perhaps increasing their market share, and all of this goes towards helping them establish a reputation globally. The bigger their revenues, the more money comes in to expand and to improve their reach across the world. Other than that, though, there isn't a great deal we actually get from the pre-scene. There are likely to be more specific targets that haven't been mentioned, but if the unseen suggests there aren't any, and if no further ones are mentioned, then what we can do is suggest that this is a weakness, and a lack of targets and lack of objectives is poor planning, and something development here will help the company achieve their overall goals and their strategy. A balanced scorecard would work here well too. So there's little evidence of robust non-financial performance measurement in the case, and so a balanced scorecard suggesting that, or perhaps a question may even come in on that. That would be a way to start to get some clearer objectives to help the company move forward. Okay, so having looked at mission and objectives then, that was the first sort of sub area of looking at the future. The next one is to look at critical success factors. So these are the key things an organization must do well in order to succeed. It's critical that each critical success factor for the case study organization is developed and improved upon to ensure that it is a strength for the business. If new strategies are recommended in the exam which support these, then you should possibly support the strategy. So for example, if something comes in, there's a new strategy which is develop a new line of crystal glassware that uses colored glass. That would probably be in fitting with the critical success factors, as it's a new product, it's in line with what they already produce, and they can keep it at a high quality, maintaining the sort of standard production approach to that, meeting all their other values. So you could support that one as long as it's realistic and not too expensive. On the other hand, if something is contradictory to the critical success factors, then we should probably question whether they are appropriate. So for example, in that case, if a new strategy was to go into the manufacturing of the lower quality glassware for sort of cheaper glassware for a larger mass market, that would be probably contradictory because the quality element is being overlooked, and it's a really important part of the company's success. So in that case, I would have serious questions over whether or not that would be appropriate for the company. Okay, so what are the critical success factors in the case of King Crystal? These are the ones that I've gotten written down. So certainly for me, the most important one is the quality of their products. It's an essential part of what makes this company competitive, perhaps probably the most important in terms of making sure that this is a pervasive value throughout the company, and it's going to be really important to their success. Another one is their reputation for luxury. So this almost has two parts. The first part being their reputation. So they are well known in their own country for producing high quality luxury products, and they want to keep this as they expand, and hopefully internationally they'll maintain this reputation for luxury. The other side of that being luxury, kind of relating into quality, but also relating to the fact that their products aren't necessarily an everyday purchase, and they are often bought as expensive gifts to mark special occasions. That kind of feeds into this marketing idea that the products almost sell themselves. Third on the list, I've got highly skilled staff. This again is going to be important. It's one of the main reasons that they've been able to produce quality products. They have a really good team of master glassblowers. Not only that, but they also have ex-glassblowers as their managing director and the other directors. Most of them have experience as glassblowers. All of that contributes towards the sort of the expertise of the company to make the best product in the market. Another success factor for them is that they are traditional. This is perhaps slightly more controversial, as being traditional can be something that holds you back at times, but I think in this case they're traditional. The fact that they are traditional is part of their image, part of their brand, and part of their marketing is that they've been around for a while, and they're kind of the go-to brand for top quality crystal products, and that's why they're often bought as gifts and sort of for special occasions. So that's going to be important to maintain this image as a traditional manufacturer, as opposed to a kind of new or revolutionary or innovative manufacturer. That's not to say that they shouldn't be innovative, but it's important for them to maintain that brand image. Thank you for watching. I hope you enjoyed it. I hope you got something out of it. And I'll just take a few moments of your time, if I could, to just tell you about some of the other case study materials that we offer. So one of the things is a study text. Now this is a study text specifically aimed at the case study, and we have one for each level. So we have an operational, management and strategic level one, and they're designed to help you pass the study. They're in two halves. The first half is exam tips and exam strategy and advice on how to answer questions and all the really useful kind of tips that you need going into these exams and how to prepare for them. And then the second half, the second part of those, is a recap of the key theory that always comes up in the case studies again and again. So those are really useful, really valuable thing that you can get. Those are available online, and you can get an actual textbook, a printed physical textbook for the old-fashioned among you who like to do it that way still. We also have course videos that correspond with that study text as well. So we have a series of really nicely well-produced, well-done videos in which we basically take you through exactly what's involved in the case study and how you can spend your time preparing for it to ensure that you get really good marks. It's really, really great series of videos there. We've got the pre-scene analysis, which the video you just watched is an example of the pre-scene analysis, and there'll be several more videos just like that where we look at every tiny detail of the pre-scene and we relate it back to the P1 or F1 or E1, and we relate it to real life scenarios, relate it to actual business and analysis tools, and we give you the what we expect to be the top 10 issues. Another thing that we do slightly different is the industry analysis, and that is this is a really great document in which we basically cover everything that's relevant to the industry for the particular business that we're looking at. And it goes from their history through to the customers and suppliers and the market and how the market has functioned and the history of that. And we've got statistics in there and diagrams, and it's full of information. It's so useful. And at the end of that pack, we also have 25 actual industry examples. So real life things that have happened in that industry, that kind of examples of things that might actually happen to the company in the exam. So it gives you a sense of the kind of things that are going on in the industry and how real life businesses in that industry have coped with it. We have mock exams, which are, if you were going to pick any one of these to do, I would suggest it was the mock exams, because nothing prepares you for the exam more than actually sitting a mock exam. And if I were a student taking this, I would certainly put mock exams at the top of my list, along with marking and feedback. Now, our mock exams are actually designed to match the way that the actual CIMA exams are, so you can sit them on your laptop and they'll be timed and automatic, and they are as close as you are going to get to the real thing. And you can get marking and feedback on that as well, which is probably the most valuable thing you could probably get. To get specific feedback from a marker who deals with this exam 4 times a year, that's the best way for you to improve your ability to pass this exam as quickly as possible. We also have a masterclass. So as an online company, we hold an online masterclass which you can sign up for,
and it's a day over the weekend. We do the Saturday and a Sunday, and it's a full day's worth of we have an expert who takes an online seminar, and we go through everything specific to that case study that you can do to get prepared for the exam, and we cover all sorts, and it's very, very popular among students who like a one-on-one kind of classroom environment in an online situation. We also offer pass guarantee, so if you're unlucky enough to not pass your exam the first time round, then there's no worries, because we give you the option. If you choose a pass guarantee option, then as long as you hit all the minimum requirements that we ask, and you don't pass, then you get access to our materials for the next sitting, completely free of charge. So there's something that we're doing to try and get you. Hopefully, if you signed up to our course and you do everything that we say you should do, then you probably will pass first time. That tends to be the way it goes. But if you should be unfortunate, if it's a particularly tough exam, then we'll let you have another go for free. So that's it. Thanks again for watching. Remember, my name is James. You can find me on Facebook, James Nutting Astranti, where I'll be posting all sorts of information about the upcoming exam in February. Make sure you check that out, because there's always something to talk about with regards to that. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.